Hello 7th grade. This is the help video for probability of compound events. It's the IXL math skill assignment that I gave you guys on probability of compound events. So this is a math challenge number 4 help video for that. I'm just going to walk you through a couple of these examples here just to give you the basic idea of how to do it. Okay. So this first one here says, what is the probability of spinning green and flipping heads? And by the way, guys, see this button that says learn with example? Okay. Use these examples to help you out if you're confused. I'm doing a little video explaining to you how to do this, but if you want more examples and you want to be walked through more examples, they have a button for that, okay? And so they'll kind of walk you through how to do a whole thing here, okay? So keep that in mind. So I'm going to explain it the way that makes sense to me, and if this is helpful to you, hopefully it'll be good for you doing the assignment. So the probability of spinning green and flipping heads. I like to consider these one at a time. So let's take a look at our spinner here, okay? So our spinner here has 6 options. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It has 6 equal slices, okay? So spinner has 6 equal parts. And how many of those are green? Well, 1, 2, 3, 4 of them are green, okay? So the probability, I'll use the notation that you know, probability of green on the spinner, well, there's 4 ways to get green, and there's 6 possibilities. So think for a second, what would the probability be? Well, it would be 4 out of 6, or 2/3 if you simplify that fraction. Let's move on to our coin here. Hopefully we all know the probability for the coin. The chances of flipping heads are 1 out of 2, or 1/2. Okay, so probability of heads is 1 out of 2, or 1/2. Excuse me. Okay, so we have a sneezing attack here on YouTube. Very exciting. So we have a 2/3 probability for the spinner and a 1/2 probability for the coin. And here's the big key, okay? If you have 2 independent events that are happening, for example, the spinner is independent of the coin flip. Whatever you spin on the coin, it does not affect what happens to, whatever you spin on the spinner does not affect what happens to the coin. And whatever you flip on the coin does not affect what happens with the spinner. Those are 2 independent events. Whenever you're trying to find the probability of 2 independent events, all you have to do is multiply their probabilities together. Let me say that again. When you're trying to find the probability of 2 independent events, you multiply their probabilities together. Okay? So let's see what that looks like here. We have probability of the spinner was 2/3, and we're going to multiply that by the probability of the coin, 1/2. So when you're multiplying fractions, you multiply the tops together. So 2 times 1 gives you a 2 on top. And you multiply the bottoms. 3 times 2 gives you a 6 on the bottom. Therefore, the probability of spinning green and flipping heads is 2/3 times 1/2, or 2/6. Of course, 2/6 simplifies to, well, what does it simplify to? Pause the video. It simplifies to 1/3. Okay? Let's see if we got it right. Submit. Very good. Okay? Now, another thing to keep in mind, okay? When you're doing these problems, probably the way that Khan Academy taught you how to think about it, if I remember the video correctly, is to count the different possibilities. Count the different possibilities, okay? So thinking back to the green spinner and flipping the coin, there are 6 different spins that you might have. I'll call them S1, S2, S3, S4, S5, and S6. Remember, there were 6 options there. And then for each of those options, you could flip heads or tails, okay? Heads or tails if you spin the first type of spin, heads or tails here. So for each of the 6 spin possibilities, you could also flip either heads or tails on the coin, okay? So there's all these little things to consider. Now, if we remember that 4 of our 6 spinners were green, I'll say that these were the green ones. In fact, let's just go to this screen now. So 4 of our 6 spinners were green, and I'm even going to color them green to make it abundantly clear. So you have these 4 green spins, okay? And of those 4 spins, we want to flip heads, okay? So I'll highlight that H in red, okay? So we only want the green spins to happen, and we only want the coin to flip head, okay? So we got heads on the coin and green on the spinner. So there are 4 different ways. 1, 2, 3, 4. Those 4 red H's are the 4 different ways that you can get heads and a green spinner. So 4 ways to get heads and green on the spinner. You compare that to the total possible number of results you might have. So the total possible number of results is the first spinner option and heads, the first spinner option and tails, the second spinner option and heads, the second spinner option and tails, the third spinner option and heads, and so on and so forth. So in total, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. You have 12 total options. There are 4 ways to get what you want out of 12 total. 4 over 12 is 1/3, the same answer we had before. Okay, so hopefully some of that helps. I thought the Khan Academy video explained it really well, but if this helps you as well, awesome. Keep up the good work. Don't forget to ask questions. Let me know if you're having trouble with anything. So thank you for all your hard work. Hopefully you're keeping up with Google Classroom okay. And I think that's all we got. Okay, keep up the good work.